Welcome back. This is a reaction to SummerSlam and every single Raw match that happened on SummerSlam, and then the Raw after SummerSlam. I will be doing the same exact video for Smackdown. I'll be reacting to the Smackdown matches that happened at SummerSlam, and then the Smackdown after SummerSlam as well. But we're going to start it off with the Raw side of things, and with the first match, I'm going to do condescending order where I do the worst to best. My worst match is actually the worst match of the entire card, I thought, was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. This match had potential to be really good, a real good coming out party for Braun Breaker, but it kind of just did a rinse and repeat of what had been happening on Monday Night Raw the previous few weeks, where Braun Breaker basically just obliterates Sami Zayn any chance he gets. This was a squash match for Braun, and I really don't know if it did him all that many favors. I mean, I get it. You want him to, become the next champ, become the next big thing, and I think he is going to be the next big thing. I mean, he's the future. You can easily see it. But the man needs to work so much on his promos. Right now, after he's won the title, he's had a few interviews where he legit is sounding like a babyface, and he's supposed to be a heel. I don't understand why he's doing that. I mean, I think he's kind of blurring the lines a little bit, kind of forgetting that he's supposed to act like kind of like a jackass, I ain't gonna lie. But he hasn't been acting like it, and it's just like, oh god, buddy, you kind of need to, start realizing that you're a heel and not a face, because I don't think heel fits his character at all. I mean, kind of like Dom. Dom just is a natural heel, and I kind of think the same thing with Braun Breaker. Right, at least for right now. At least for right now, Braun Breaker, I think, is more naturally a heel than he is a face, and they gotta utilize him at what he's best at. And right now, I think that's a heel. So I really don't think they are trying to have him turn face, but I think again he's kind of blurring the lines and forgetting how to be a heel, because he just won the title. So I think it's going to be a learning process for him, a learning curve, and I think he'll be fine. It's just, again, he's got to work on his promos a little bit and how to actually sound like a heel again, because, that's kind of what he is right now. And then for Sami Zayn, I think this is purely just to get the title off of him. I think this was all about setting up a Sami Zayn, Jey Uso reunion with Roman Reigns.
Lately, he just hasn't been very oozy.
I know Sami and Jay have a title match coming up against the New Judgment Day. I think the New Judgment Day should retain. After Monday night, I think the Temu Judgment Day is kind of looking pathetic right now, I ain't gonna lie. That was pretty sad what happened on Monday night. But going back to Sami and Braun, this match was a definite squash match. I think there was 10 minutes on the card for them, and they only used 6 minutes of it. I think that kind of, kind of made the match worse. I think this match definitely could have benefited for going the whole time, and it really should have gone the whole time. This match, I mean, Sami didn't really have much offense in it. It was basically just Braun Breaker destroying him, and that's what we got. So this match definitely was the worst one on the card tonight and that night, and it should have been a little bit better. But it is what it is. It did what it was supposed to do, and that was get the title off of Sami Zayn and have Braun Breaker become the next big thing. So in that regard, I guess it gets a thumbs up, but in ring work, thumbs down. Moving on to the CM Punk and Seth Rollins one, that'll take my third place for the Monday Night Raw, and it's not last place in terms of overall SummerSlam. I think it probably takes, I want to say, third or fourth place in overall SummerSlam. But third place on the actual Monday Night Raw, because the Judgment Day's implosion, to me, that was just so much more fascinating and fun to watch than this match. Even though this match was freaking awesome to watch. I mean, you had Seth Rollins kicking it on the ring or on the ropes, on the top rope or whatever. That was pretty awesome. And then there was some footage that got released of Seth Rollins and his referee cam, and how he was talking to Punk and McIntyre, and they were going back and forth. That stuff was funny. overall, I think this match kind of accomplished what it was supposed to do, and that was to basically set up more matches in the future. It showed that CM Punk still has it. It showed that Drew McIntyre is obviously still amazing, and I think they went the right route, and they had McIntyre win the match. I think that was the right decision, believe it or not. Giving the match to Punk right away is kind of dumb. That kind of ruins the feud, in my opinion, because McIntyre is the heel of the feud. So giving it to Punk right away kind of just lessens the feud a little bit, but giving it to McIntyre definitely keeps the flame going, and right now it is definitely cooking with some propane. And then Monday night, they had a big square off between Punk and Rollins, and then McIntyre came out and stole the attention due to wristband stealing his wife and dog. That was pretty funny. And then Punk, like, obviously chased him out of the building. And then out of nowhere, Big Bronson Reed comes and basically puts Seth on the shelf so then Seth can deal with some injuries that he's been apparently dealing with, some chronic injuries. But it did such an amazing job at boosting Bronson Reed and also allowing Seth to have some time off here that Big Bronson Reed really needs to they need to take advantage of this, and obviously it seems like they have something planned for him, so this will be really good for him, and I'm hoping they got big things in store, as I said. But overall, I thought Seth and Drew and Punk, this feud between the three of them is going so well right now. I thought the match itself was phenomenal. I thought it was a great match, and it did what it was supposed to do again, and it kept the feud going. And this feud could easily can go easily through next year's WrestleMania, and there's a good argument for that to be made. But moving on to my second place match, and that was Gunther versus Priest, which in my opinion was the best in-ring match of the entire card. But the reason it's not number one and for Raw is because the storytelling wasn't the best for this match, because again, it was the feud between Gunther and Priest really wasn't there. I mean, yes, Gunther was calling him street trash and all that stuff, but what really made this match was just the in-ring work, and then at the end when Finn betrayed him. I mean, Priest and Gunther were laying it into one another. I mean, both of them were hitting each other hard. Priest made Gunther start bleeding from the chest. That was wow. Just wow. Like legitimate bleeding. I mean, it wasn't like he cut himself or anything. Legitimate bleeding. He was chopping him so hard. Chop, chop, chop. And it felt like Priest was like actually had a grudge against him, like a real life grudge. I mean, Priest was not holding back. I'm like, wow, dude, chill. I'm like, I get it's for show, but gosh, wow, Priest really went into it. And again, Gunther just automatically has great matches, but wow, this was definitely Priest's best match to date. Priest is looking like a star already. I mean, he's main event caliber now. I mean, this title reign really helped him a lot, and I'm glad he went on it. This really boosted his confidence. You could see it on Monday night when he had his match against JD. He just gave JD McDonough his best match to date, and that match is going to go unnoticed, but JD just had his best match. I mean, believe it or not, JD McDonough is a better in-ring performer than Dom. I mean, and both of them can sell their asses off for everyone they're in the ring with. I mean, McDonough's sells, they need to be studied. I mean, wow, his sells are something. It's unbelievable. But going back to Damian Priest and Gunther, this match did what it was supposed to do, and it was to get Gunther the title because it was his time, and Priest and the Judgment Day to start their implosion and their feud. I'm under the impression that this new Judgment Day, they're not a threat right now, and they need a big guy that can battle Priest's strength. That's what they need right now. That's what was shown on Monday night. And the perfect person for that, my dad came up with the idea of Big Bronson Reed joining the new Judgment Day. I think that would be absolutely perfect for them. Seriously, I think that would be perfect for Bronson Reed, giving him that type of exposure to heat. I mean, you have Dom, who's the biggest heat magnet in the company, arguably the biggest heat magnet of all time, and I mean, exposing Bronson Reed to that type of heat, I think would be amazing for him. And so, I again, I am really under the impression that this was a great match for Priest, Gunther, and again, they need to just ride this wave. Now on to the very controversial Rhea versus Liv Dominik screw drop. That was hard to watch. That was really hard to watch because Dom and Rhea were the ones who really got me back into watching WWE again. More specifically, the Judgment Day. They were the ones who really got me back into watching. And watching the whole group have an implosion on Saturday night, that was hard to watch. But it's for bigger things to come. I guess you can consider it was time for them. And I don't know. It was hard to watch because it's like when there's not a really good story for the betrayal, it gets harder to watch because it's like it doesn't make a lot of sense, especially with Dom's. Finn's made sense because they had been hinting at it for over a year, but Dom's really made no sense. And that's kind of where I have the problem is that with everything that he had been going through for the last 3 months, showing his absolute like disgust with her, and then all of a sudden he like 2 weeks ago he had delivered the promo of I hate you, and then fast forward to SummerSlam and he betrays Rhea and kisses Liv, and he hadn't even had a single confrontation with her for like 2 weeks. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me because it's like if the story is not explained well and it's just simply they had him betray to for the fun of it, they wanted to spice things up. I'm not for that. I mean, it's not a great story. I get it. You want Rhea to do things on her own. I get that, but there could have been more done to like elevate this betrayal. This betrayal, obviously people were calling for it. People wanted it to happen. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't have happened. I'm under the impression I would have been okay with it either way. But right now, Monday after, already watching the Raw after SummerSlam, I was kind of surprised that Rhea, Dom, and Liv did not get a single segment. That kind of has me worried because it's almost like they don't know where they want to go with it yet. There was a lot of different angles they can play. Dom being a double agent, I know a lot of Liv Dom fans are already destroying a lot of Rhea Dom supporters for that, but truth be told, there is already a lot of evidence that supports that theory, and again, it's far too early to tell, so that's why I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. I might have another video that kind of explains all those details and stuff like that, because it's actually really cool, because you crazy Liv Dom fans went out there and picked apart every single Monday Night Raw thing that you saw Liv and Dom in and to prove your points, and then you guys are being hypocrites and basically bullying the crap out of all the Rhea Dom people doing the same thing for it to be a double cross. It's like, guys, you can't have it both ways. Like, it's not really fair to them. Anything is possible. I wouldn't write it out of the future. I wouldn't. I definitely would say you got to keep your mind open for certain things because it's like Triple H loves his storytelling, but if this past Monday night taught me anything, it's to right now it's kind of looking scary. I mean, it's looking scary because it's like it didn't seem like they really have any plans for them right now, and they kind of are losing steam. I gotta be honest. That Monday night they really weren't like highlighted a lot, and it kind of lost some steam for me. And I thought it was the hottest storyline going into SummerSlam, and right now it's kind of losing some steam right now. And I don't want that to be the case, so I think Triple H kind of figured that out, and now he has Rhea opening up this next Monday night. I'm hoping that'll fix a lot of my issues I have with this betrayal. I'm hoping that we can make sense of this betrayal a little bit more, because his betrayal against Ray, it made a lot more sense than what his betrayal against Rhea makes right now. Dom's betrayal against Ray, there was things that, I mean, looking back at it, you could definitely kind of see it coming. You could see it coming. But with Rhea's, I mean, people want to say that she's been toxic to him and all this shit. It's like, that's not true. She hasn't. So he literally calls himself hers and all that stuff. So it's like, it's not the belittling, because truthfully, he's enjoyed it. And as weird as that is, he has. But it's worked for them. And I'm just I'm not a fan of breaking something up just for the hell of it. You know, there has to be a good story to it, and if there's not and it's not explained well, I'm not gonna be a fan of it, and it's gonna kind of ruin the way I look at that storyline. And because this was the hottest storyline of the summer, and for it to just kind of dissipate like that, I think it could be done a little bit better. Um, Again, I thought Finn's was done well because you kind of been hinting at it for a year now. But then when it was Dom who betrayed first, I don't know. It was just kind of caught me off guard because it was like I don't know. There was nothing really that was writing on the wall for it. You know, there was nothing out there for it, so it made no sense. His betrayal really did make no sense. But for all you people out there that are quick to say that Liv and Dom are here to stay forever, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot more at play. They're forcing it down our throat like right away, and they're not allowing them to build their chemistry on their own, kind of like how Rhea and Dom built their chemistry on their own. It's almost as if this is a story that's not going to be like alive for very long. They're like trying to get it to that point where it's going to hurt whenever something happens to one another. Either Liv's going to portray Dom for Finn, or Dom is a double agent. It's one or the other right now. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. I don't think Dom and Liv is the future. I really don't think so. And quite frankly, I think this kind of hurt Dom more than anyone because they're kind of just using Dom as that pawn right now. He really is the heat magnet pawn, and they just placed it on Liv just so then Liv can start getting some heat. But realistically, I don't really even know if Liv needed it all that much because truthfully, fans already cheer like crazy for Rhea. I don't really think Liv needed this pawn for her, and I hate that they're using Dom like that. I really do hope he gets his title chance eventually, IC title, because it can't come soon enough for him. But in terms of match work that night, I thought this match kind of did what it was supposed to do, kind of show that Rhea was back, but at the same time, it kind of showed that Rhea might not be fully ready yet. And so in that regard, I thought it was like a okay match. It did what it was supposed to do, but you could definitely tell Rhea wasn't fully ready yet. A very good subtle storytelling on the outside of the ring with Dom and all that, but overall, I thought this match did what it was supposed to do. Kind of just, start of a new era, start of a new chapter for both of them. And I'm excited to see where this story goes. But yeah, those were my reactions to this. I want to see what you guys think. Please tell me, because I am definitely under the impression that some of the story for especially Rhea, Dom, and Liv is yet to be told. I think there's a lot more at play, and people should not be quick to write it out of the equation. But that's what I think. Would love to see what you guys think. Till next time, see ya.